All right, welcome back to Spirit Squared. I'm Andrew Darrington, your host. Tonight we're here in South Tyler. We're at the home of the Mortgage House. And thank you so much for having us on. But before we get started, I'd really like to thank our sponsors. We've got the Vault and Humidor. Thanks so much, Blake Young and Virginia, for sponsoring us and giving us a little extra cash for our new equipment we've got. And we've got Red Construction. Thomas and Martha, thank you so much for sponsoring us. And then we have Hoot and Holler down in Gun Barrel City. They've got an awesome selection. It's a great package store. If you're looking for any specialized liquors, any kind of special things that you're looking for the weekend, drive down there. They have an awesome selection in East Texas. Go check out Scott and his staff. They're going to take care of you and find all the things that you need. So without further ado, we've got Teri Killingsworth.
Yeah.
And we've got Marque Ross. And we've got her husband over there, who's a good friend of mine. He's going to stay out of in the shadows. And we've got Ryder somewhere out here. He's kind of the sponsor dog here. And
he's the office mascot. He wasn't ready. He was like, I didn't know this is what we were doing.
Right.
He lives here with us.
Yes. So we've got we've got the entire crew here at the Mortgage House here in Tyler.
Good boy.
He's like, I'm so over this.
Looking the wrong way.
Yeah.
Nobody can see you.
Well, thanks so much for coming on. Let's talk about how you guys met.
Okay. We actually met through an interview. She was managing a brokerage here in Tyler, and me and my husband Daniel were here. We helped open up another business. We had it for about 2 years. We decided that was going to be more than a hobby than a career, and we had a real estate agent that had met a couple people in the office, and I told her I was looking for, a place to settle. And one of the girls went to Teri and said, I have this girl, she seems awesome, she's from the Metroplex, and she's like, I absolutely don't want to interview her. I don't want anybody else, we don't need anybody,
Right.
And so I just kind of milked it for a little while, came in, and literally in the interview we became like best friends. So
Awesome.
Got hired, we were there for about 3 years, and then we decided to open up our own thing and do our own thing. So
So both of you guys on your LinkedIn, of course I did a little digging.
Thanks for stalking us.
Exactly. You both mentioned that you did mortgage work prior to this, quite a few years.
Yeah.
So you said you were at a brokerage. So
I started in college.
Okay.
So I worked for an attorney who went on sabbatical, and my mom's best friend happened to be the branch manager of a mortgage business, and I knew that I did not want to wait tables or work in retail. It just wasn't for me.
Right.
And with college, it's weird hours anyway. She was like, hey, I need a personal assistant. And I was like, oh, yes. I mean, within 6 months, it was just like, this is like what I'm doing. Like, this is all the things. Right. And I just fell in love with it. Like, it's something different every single day. It's very fast moving. It's not boring. You're always learning and changing. And so, like, it literally fed my brain, which I enjoy. Everything's a puzzle. And so, I just fell in love with it and then decided not to go to law school to do this.
Wow.
And I love it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys meet on an interview for a brokerage firm that you worked prior to this, obviously.
Yeah.
And you were a manager for
that firm? So I ran it. I started it with another business partner. We started it, and it just was really successful. But we kind of just outgrew where we were, I guess is the easiest way to say it. And Marque literally is my best friend. She's like my other life partner other than my husband.
Right.
And we do everything together. We vacation together. We spend holidays together. I mean, we're just inseparable. I tease all the time. I'm like, if something happens to my husband, she's it. But 1,000%, she's my work wife. That's what, it's very much a joke. We're yin and yang. We complement each other. Yeah. Our staff literally call us basically like mom and dad. Like, go ask mom or go ask dad. I'm dad because I'm the yes person.
Yeah.
She's mom because she's the no person.
Right.
And then we were just inseparable. And when we decided to do this, it was one of those things where, I never would have chosen anybody else to take this risk with, to do this kind of venture with.
Yeah.
And it's just been very successful. We complement each other very well.
Yeah. So you guys make the big step in 2020, early 2020.
Yeah.
To you guys have already kind of decided, hey, this is where we want to be. But then, we all know what happened in 2020.
Yeah.
It was not only were you dealing with, the COVID situation, but you're also dealing with a crazy housing market.
Yeah.
Walk us through kind of what 2020 looked like for you guys.
We started,
Like at the end of
technically
2019.
yeah, we kind of found our place and opened up January 1st, 2020. And kind of got rolling, got our feet wet, and March, everything shut down. And we literally held our breath for like 2 weeks. What's going to happen? What's going on? And then it was really wild because the rates fell. And so that just kind of helped us get through it. You know what I mean? We were doing tons of refis. Obviously, purchases were still our biggest, thing that we brought in, but refis were really booming at that time because rates were so low, historic lows.
Right.
But it was crazy. We both got COVID during that time. We both actually got certified. Well, she was certified a year before.
To dive, yeah.
To dive, and we got certified and went on vacation during COVID, which was amazing.
Right before it got real bad, yeah.
Right before it got real bad, and then came back. Me and Daniel has gone somewhere, and I brought COVID back to the office. I literally gave it to everybody in the office. I thought I had literally killed our entire staff.
It was bad.
It was so stressful. So bad. Nobody died. Everyone got through it. We all lost our hair, and it was crazy. It was wild.
I mean, but the good part for us really is that you've done, and I think this is what a lot of other industries learned as well, that coming into the office and personal touch is great, right?
Yeah.
And we live in East Texas, so I mean, it's very
100%.
part of who we are as a community, right?
We're not big
But
cities.
it was a lot easier because everything we do has electronic signature. And so nobody kind of was kept out of it for not being able to like have a hands-on touch.
Yeah, closing was the big issue.
Closing was the big issue, but title companies were really great. They'd have like notaries like walk out to cars, and like everybody had masks on. And
I kind of forgot about all that.
yeah, I mean, like it's like really insane. Like we made it work. Everybody made it work. I went from going to every single closing to not being able to go to any. And that kind of modified how we did business anyway, because, when you have a ton of them, being out of the office is a little complicated. So we still keep it very personable, but some of that is kind of carried over into the way we still do business.
Yeah. Conveniences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we do like hybrid closings. I mean, that's kind of really escalated that because a lot of people are like, I'd rather sign almost everything electronically like I'm already doing and then just sign the notarized stuff, at title.
Especially if they don't live locally, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
And it helps with title companies too because they can bring more business in. It's not like an hour and a half closing now. It's 20 to 30 minutes. So it really that's kind of pushed that along quite a bit.
Very much so.
So we built during that crazy time, which was really difficult because you had like, hey, this is going to happen then, and the whole staff.
And then
the whole crew, one person, one person got COVID. So, and at the beginning of that, it was like, all right, you're going to have to quarantine for 14 days. Well, that would throw you. This plumbing's going to go behind, and that is just absolutely wild. What do you? I mean, I don't want. There's a lot of things publicly talked about, but those rates, we're never going to see those now, right? I mean, there were a lot of factors.
It would take something catastrophic to see this again.
Yeah. Like where we're at inflation-wise, and we'll get to that here in just a minute, but back then, I mean, there was a variety of things that kind of fueled that plummet.
Yeah.
And folks that did refi and did find a forever home, they benefited. But we'll get to that here in just a second about, some of...
inventory and...
Yeah. Right. Because it was opportunity. People that were...
It was opportunity for sure.
For sure.
If you bought your forever home.
Right.
Even investment properties and stuff.
Sure.
I mean, it's huge.
Yeah, if you were going to hold it for a while. Short term...
Rentals,
Yeah, exactly. So, you guys are brokers.
Yeah.
All right? And then you have bankers. So, let's talk about the differences between the two entities, because there's
so there's really three. I mean, like you have FDIC insured banks, so think huge. Think like Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, that kind of like crop of people. Then you have retail mortgage companies. So here locally, think of places like Guild or Fairway, right?
Okay.
They're also owned by a corporate bank, right? So they have their own warehouse lines, so their own lines of money and investments.
Would Rocket Mortgage fall under that?
So they are a little bit of retail, but also wholesale. So we deal with companies. So as a broker, we don't lend our own money in the way that we have our brokerage set up, right?
Okay.
So we contract with wholesale lenders, right, on the secondary market, and we pair borrowers with wholesale lenders. And that's how we do it. Now, is Rocket somebody that does wholesale lending? Yes, but they also do retail. There are some wholesale lenders where all they do is wholesale. They don't have a brick and mortar branch. You can't get a loan from them. You have to go through a broker.
Gotcha.
And then there are some that do a little bit of both.
I got you.
Which
Okay.
that's kind of fading out. A lot of people, a lot of bigger ones like that are starting to fade out, right? Because you have wholesale and retail where for brokers like us, it would be hard to send somebody there a lot of times because we're on the wholesale side, and then they would almost kind of take the refi and almost take your business from them. So a lot of the brokers now are only using wholesale 100% only lenders.
Or if
most
you're
of the
using
time.
somebody that does both, it's
Or-
like you
yeah.
have an agreement or they have things in place where they're not going to basically poach
They
your
give you a little
business.
discount.
No, not poach your business. So think about
Okay.
it. Like if they have people soliciting for your refi, like because they send you a mortgage statement
Like, hey,
every
we're
month,
your servicer already.
they're servicing
Yeah.
it. They go, hey, why would you call your broker? Why wouldn't you just service it through me? I bet I can beat
I see.
anything that they have. And so it's basically one of those things where if we're sending you business, why are you taking our business
Correct.
from us,
Yeah.
right? And
Right.
so it's
not a
something
mutual
that really
relationship.
happened kind of when we switched over. So
Yeah.
there was a movement in the mid 2000s, I guess is the best time frame to say, called Brawl, and it was basically where brokers who before the real estate crash in 2008 2009
Yes.
brokers really did kind of like
Have a
C
bad
and D
name.
paper, right? Like it was
Oh yeah.
you know,
It was a Wild
stated
West.
income,
Yeah.
bank statement loans. Like
Yeah.
it was things were just done differently then. Well,
But the laws
now
were written to a
brokers-
way that you
You
wanted
could.
people wanted you to write loans a little more riskier.
Oh, they
but
were
they
so
also
risky.
but they also wanted to really want to write loans to certain segments of the population that really didn't qualify, or maybe they overqualified them for what they
more than they
Correct.
yeah
Right.
so
Yeah.
2008 2009 I mean part of that was, and brokers were who you sent your business that you couldn't get to go any other way, and their rates were high,
Yeah.
and that kind of stuff. Well, after that, right, so after TRID and the way that the mortgage market really shifted and started doing things a lot differently,
a lot differently.
brokers started doing things a lot differently.
Sure.
And now we are the more competitive place to get your mainstream mortgages. I mean, we beat banks and other mortgage
All the
banks
time.
all the time. It's what we do.
Yeah.
But it's also the way that we've structured it, and we beat other brokers as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
Teri
Go ahead.
kind of talked about like why we opened the brokerage. I mean, she's very passionate, you know, for helping people.
You
And
don't say that. Huh.
There.
can hear it.
she's very passionate.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, you know, helping the first time home buyers, helping veterans, there's so many people that she wanted to help, right? And so we've customized it a way where we're not maxing out like our comp, and we're not charging as much as we can possibly charge. We're in this state where it's like, okay, we could charge all these fees, we could charge all these fluff fees, but we don't. We want
Yeah.
everyone to be able to get a home.
There's enough business here
Yeah.
for us
We'd
to
rather
do well.
do more
and
business
for-
than be like,
enough for our
oh, we
customers.
only want A+ credit, and
Yeah.
you know they can go wherever they want, buy whatever they want. No, we want to help everybody, you know,
Right.
and that's really why we opened it.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of those things where, you know, when people ask me, like, why don't you charge a processing fee or an admin fee? Like, why don't you? Because everybody else does. Because it almost seems like a gimmick or too
Yeah.
good to be real. Or we're going to sneak it in there later.
Yeah, apartment
And it's-
complexes charge those.
Exactly. And it's one of those
I mean,
things
come on,
where...
let's be honest.
Yeah.
I know, but it is one of those things where I'll look at somebody and I'll go, well, just because I can doesn't mean I should.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, let's get real. If you're an A+ paper borrower, you can go anywhere and get a loan. You can. You're competing for rates. You're competing
Sure.
for
Yeah.
service, and you know maybe like
You can make some
relationships and
Yeah.
things like that, right? Like that
Yeah.
person isn't worried about getting a loan.
Sure.
But the single moms, the veterans,
every dollar.
you know, they're counting
Yeah.
every people that live on just fixed income because they're on disability. Veterans who maybe somebody doesn't understand the way that the VA works and how to kind of structure those to benefit a veteran. I mean, those people, they're getting taken advantage of every day. And I mean, I can remember when my mom got divorced and it took us forever for her to be able to buy a house. And her person that got her that loan bent over backwards and got her in that house and really like treated my mom like a person.
Right.
Yeah.
And instead of an investment.
Sure.
And that is what I've taken. I mean, I take every client and I look at them and I literally will assign them a family member. Like in my brain, I'm like, oh, that's who you are.
Right.
And we maintain great relationships with all of our clients. That is why, you know, we have such a stellar reputation.
Yeah.
We don't turn anybody away. Like,
Sure.
we don't care. Does it take 6 months? Does it take 2 years? Like, everybody deserves to own a home and be safe and secure in a home.
Right.
And so that's just like why we're here and doing what we do. Those clients that really get turned away other places because maybe $1,500 is make or break it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I would rather do 1,000 more loans at less comp
Sure.
with no fees,
Yeah,
so then
sure.
that person gets in a house,
Yeah.
then charge more, and then that person doesn't have a house.
I mean, it's a good segue. I mean, I did some research.
The Humidor is your online cigar retailing headquarters. Our experienced staff has spent years finding some of the best cigars from around the world to sell to our customers. If you're looking for an online cigar store that can help you find your next favorite smoke, welcome to the Humidor. We began the Humidor because of our deep appreciation of the finer things in life, a good conversation with friends, an aged whiskey, and, of course, a fine smoke. That's why, in addition to selling premium cigars online, we also operate a brick-and-mortar cigar lounge in Tyler, Texas. Our lounge is crafted to provide a classic ambience with modern sensibilities, and we've spent time ensuring that smokers and non-smokers have an enjoyable experience, whether they're there for a drink with friends or to enjoy the game.
Google reviews wise, you have 105 Google reviews, and they're all 5-star. Like, that doesn't
We try
happen.
real hard.
Yeah. I mean, well, it sounds like you try real hard. That doesn't happen across the board, and it doesn't happen in very many industries at all. You could look at places that serve great food, that have great service, that have, you know, great topography, whatever. I mean,
Yeah.
environment, all of it. You're not going to have, you know, 105 reviews at five stars. So, you know, you just described a lot of it, but there's a certain level of service you're providing.
There has to be.
A lot of the feedback that I saw, and I didn't read all 105. I'm just being honest.
Come on.
Can't
it's
believe
like-
it.
All right, I got a day job, okay?
I've read them all.
Yes. And you probably, I think you commented on most of them.
I
Yeah.
mean, if there's a comment,
Definitely
it's
come
just
across
all
as
that.
Terry.
Yeah.
She does, yes.
So,
yes.
but
She gets
most
very excited about
most
it.
of them
Yeah.
said there was a personal touch.
Yeah.
There was more than one person that worked
Yeah.
with me. I thought that was another important ingredient.
Yes.
Because then you have, like you said, yin and yang, you have two different personalities that maybe can handle certain things,
Different things,
in different
yeah.
ways and have maybe, you know, bedside manner, but
100%.
also have, hey, you need to, this needs to be kind of cleared up,
Yeah.
or we need to get this in shape. So you've got that
Yeah.
that dual kind of access, and then all of them said, and I mean, there was a lot of them that were very clear about the access, where, hey, I could pick up the phone, call you, maybe after hours, maybe it was early in the morning, and I wasn't just like, hey, I gotta call you later,
Yeah.
or kind of pushed away. Similar to what you would see institutional banking, kind of being like, hey, we work, you know,
9 to
9 to 5, and we're
Not on
off,
weekends.
you know, a million holidays.
Well,
and
it's
stuff
real
like
estate.
that.
I mean, real estate, you have to work weekends. You have to work after hours. Because think about it, I mean, people have a day job.
Sure.
Some people can't leave their job and talk to you for an hour. You know, it's before I get there, or it's after I get there,
Or on the lunch
or
break.
it's on the lunch break, or it's on
Yeah.
the weekends. You know, and so you have to be there when they're available, not
So
like
when do you have a life?
in between those
No,
phone
I
calls.
mean, it's a running joke. Like, so we do vacation together, right? And it is a running joke that when I'm on vacation, I'm not really on vacation. I will be in the middle of a dive boat and answer the phone, and I'm very upfront with
You
clients.
sound
And
like a real estate agent.
No, but I will tell you this. Like, I'm very upfront with clients, and I think that it's something that serves me well. And I've had people say, like, why do you get so personal with clients? Like, why do you, like, tell them these things? And I always go, well, because we're just people.
Yeah.
They know that I'm a person, and I know they're a person. We connect there, and it works.
Yeah.
And I tell every client the first conversation I have is, and it's literally like wrote in my brain. I'm like, I have a husband, I have a hormonal teenage daughter, and I have dogs that like to bark at just about everything.
Right.
You can call me anytime. You can text me anytime. I may answer the phone while I'm having dinner. As long as you know that I may threaten to kill any three of those people at any given time, You know, because it is. Like, I'll be on the phone, and my daughter's like, can you get me water? I'm like, get your own water. You're fine. And it really puts clients at ease. And so you tell them that, and then they do call. Because what you don't want is to sell somebody like, hey, you're making the biggest purchase of your life.
Yeah.
You're going to have anxiety no matter how many houses you've ever bought, built, or anything. You're going to have a question Friday at 7 o'clock, and I don't want to talk to you until Monday.
Yep.
On Monday morning, they're Chicken Little, the sky's falling, like everything is wrong, and they're going to ask me a question, and I'm going to go, well, that doesn't even apply to you. I don't know why you didn't just text me like I asked you to.
Because they had a friend or family member mention something that happened to them,
Or
something
Google.
that happened to Uncle Freddie.
yes.
Or Google.
Oh, yes.
So-
It's always Uncle Freddie.
Yeah.
Always.
Right? That, he said that happened to me,
Yeah.
or it
Yeah.
happened to him, and
So I'm just upfront up front,
Very
and,
much so.
and that way there's not a lot. And so I will say that when I am that way with clients, they'll either call or text. And I typically, because we do the entire state of Texas and you have people moving into Texas from all over, I work East Coast to West Coast time. Like, typically, and I'll tell them, if you get me in the morning, I may sound like I need a cup of coffee. If you get me at night, like, I really don't mind having a conversation. But I've done this
We
for
might have had a cocktail.
Yeah,
or two.
but I've done this for so long
Been
that a
there.
lot of their questions are not something I
Takes
can't
30
answer.
seconds
It takes
to
30
answer.
seconds.
Yeah.
You know.
And then they feel the way they feel in those reviews, like they're a person and they're a
Sure.
human and they matter.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then we can just move on with our day.
Any odd moments that you've answered phone calls?
Odd moments.
Yeah, she said she was on a dive boat.
She does answer the phone on the dive boat every time. We go to Cozumel a lot, so we have service there. But
Yeah.
she just, hey, I'm about to get in the water. What do you want?
Right. What is it? Tercel, I think, over there? I think it is.
I mean,
What is it? Carousel? What do you
Yeah.
The
Tercel,
service
the-
there. I
the
think it's
Oh,
Tercel.
the service.
Yeah, I think it's Tercel. But
Yeah.
any odd moments that you've...
I don't think any odd moments. I take my dog to work obviously every day, so anytime I answer the phone in the morning, he's in the car with me.
Right.
So if he sees a squirrel,
Yes.
a trash truck,
scooter.
which is a motorcycle,
Oh, he hates motorcycles.
he wants to talk about it, and so I'm like, please hold.
Yeah.
Okay, sometimes I just mute because they're talking and
Right.
just go about your day.
The clients love
Yeah.
the dogs, though. That's the best part.
They do.
Yeah.
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 So, how does, and I know this could be a little touchy, but I think it does need to be talked about. How does a broker get paid? Because obviously we know a banker gets paid through commissions through their bank, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty simple. How does a broker?
Similar way.
It's very
Similar
similar.
through
Okay.
the lender, directly
Yeah.
through
Okay.
the because they're servicing the loan
Yeah.
9 times out of 10.
So they're
for quite a
basically
while.
paying us to basically connect them to the business and do all of the work, right?
Gotcha.
So that they can service it. Like, we do all the paperwork, we handle the client, we do basically everything that anybody at a bank does. We just don't service the loan.
Gotcha.
They service it. So they're basically buying the loan from us.
Gotcha.
Is the easiest way to kind of like break around.
Yeah. So let's talk about. We can talk a little bit about interest rates here in just a second, but what's the housing market look like right now?
I mean, it's a little ebb and flow. The second that the Fed says that rates are going down, I get like 5,000 phone calls, and then
Emails, texts.
Yeah.
emails and texts and all the things. I mean,
a little bit of a buyer's market,
Yeah.
but with all the NAR and stuff, it's
think
transitioning a
it's-
smidge.
NAR. What does NAR stand for?
National Association of Realtors.
Okay, gotcha. All right.
We're here for the breakdown.
Yeah, I got. Hey, look, I just want to
But
make
have
sure.
you heard about all that with the commission for
Yeah, I have.
Realtors?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm friends
Yeah.
with a couple of real estate agents, and of course they chirped about it a little bit,
Yeah.
you know. And at the end of the day, it's just about maneuvering deals.
Yeah.
You know, you just got to get creative.
Yeah.
And as I'm,
You just have to
look, I'm in the
communicate more.
pawn business.
Yeah.
I'm in the POWN business. Every day I am negotiating and working
Very much
deals.
so.
And hey, look, I want this tax off. Well, how about we just
Yeah.
split it in half? I pay half Uncle Sam, you pay
Let's
half
just
Uncle
make it
Sam.
work. Let's
Just-
just make it work.
Let's make a
I do
deal.
that every day.
Yeah.
So,
Well, it's very similar to what happened to us after
In
the
08,
2008, 2009, and the mortgage industry completely changed the way that business was done.
Title 14, right?
Yeah,
Which
like
is
so the Frank
bigger.
Don Act,
Yeah.
like all that stuff came
We used
into
to make
play.
a lot more money than
Graham
we do
Lively.
now.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
per deal.
Per deal. And
Yeah.
so, like, it's the same thing, and it's
But it
just
was
how
pretty unregulated at that time.
it
as
was
far
pretty
as
unregulated,
a lot of
yeah, for
deals
sure.
were just being made. Just
You can make it on the front, the back. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
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 But it's like, how do you set yourself up the way, I mean, and what we've done is, I mean, we provide a service, we provide it very well, we have very high quality service, and same thing, it's like know your worth, be able to communicate that, what services do you provide, how well do you provide them, and that's how you have that conversation about commission. Yeah. And I think that's what we've communicated to our real estate partners, obviously, because we want to kind of like help facilitate that, and you know, any struggles that they're having. That's the whole part about having a business of partnering with people, is that you want to help them kind of navigate any changes that they run into. And so, I mean, especially here in East Texas, we're such a tight-knit community and family of people that, you know, you don't want to see anybody not succeed.
Yeah, sure. Very cool.
Hey, podcast listeners, are you in need of some top-notch libations to elevate your next gathering? Look no further than Hoot and Holler Liquor Store in Gun Barrel City, your go-to liquor store for quality drinks. From smooth bourbons to crisp wines and everything in between, Hoot and Holler has one of the largest and most diverse selections in East Texas. Planning a special occasion? Let our experts guide you to the perfect bottle. You'll receive excellent customer service not offered in the big box chains. Visit Hoot and Holler today.
All right, so I've got a top 10 of things that I want to bring up. I already prepped you that.
I know, but you didn't tell me what
You may want to take a swig. By the way, I'm having a Fortaleza single barrel. It's very, very good. Got this from Illinois via Wells Fargo horse and carriage. So it arrived at my door. I don't know. I Venmo'd and showed up. So it's very, very good. And you guys are having
Lalo. Additive free, guys.
Additive free.
All right. So before we get to that, I'm gonna have another beverage.
I love it.
Different one?
Beverages.
Yeah, this is Tears of Lorena. It's kind of a boozy tequila.
Boozy tequila.
Yeah. Okay. So
Okay.
you don't have to name names.
We won't.
No names.
No names. But I got a top 10 of things that you should not do
Okay.
if you're working with a broker
Okay.
or probably a banker.
Buying a house.
Okay, you're buying a house.
Shouldn't
Top 10 things that you should not do, and you're welcome to comment if you'd like.
And we're going to tell you, or you're telling us?
No, I'm telling you.
Okay.
Then you're going to tell me.
It's like Family Feud. Where
Yes. Okay, yes. Okay, number 1. Well, it's not really number 1. It's just
Number 1 on
1
your
up to
list.
10, yes.
Okay.
Okay, so what if your client lies?
Oh, that's a big one.
I mean, so if you commit mortgage fraud, that's federal prison, and I don't like Tennessee orange. I only like Texas orange, so like I'm done.
I have an employee that told me today because she was accused of doing a transaction that was not legal, and she was like, "I'm too pretty for prison," is what she told me, and I was like,
I mean, every once in a while I think
that's a pretty good
solitary-
comeback.
Yeah.
I was like, all right.
Like, don't worry, I'm not going.
Yeah. And it was during an audit, and the audit uncovered nothing, which was awesome.
Yeah.
But that's what her comeback was. And I
Wow.
was like, okay.
We get audited every 2 years, so it gets brought up a
Yeah,
lot.
no, it does.
Okay.
Like,
I heard Teri tell people on
Don't
the
lie.
phone, as long as you don't lie to me and we're not going to prison, you'll be fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I do every time. I'm like, don't lie to me.
Okay. So, okay. What if I ask, what's the max I can get?
That's
Oh, I
a
don't
very
think
common
that's a
question.
very common question.
That's a daily question.
That's a
Yeah.
daily question.
Just tell me what my max is.
Yeah, tell me.
Everybody-
Is that a
everybody
red flag?
No.
No?
No?
No, because everybody wants to know what it is, even if they're not going to do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
because they want to know. Because think about it, when you're out shopping,
Because
like
they're
if you
thinking
go-
what they can afford,
Yeah.
and they're like, okay, just tell me my
Because to
max
me, I
to
think
know if
about,
I'm in the ballpark.
What's my credit limit? What can I swipe for today or something like that?
No.
That's not usually why they're asking it
Okay.
like that.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's,
They
that
want to
one
make
wasn't
sure
bad.
you're in there.
Okay,
Yeah.
not too bad. Okay. All right, my third one is, what if I don't pay my bills?
You don't get a house. No house for you.
I've had Miss Marque. Can I go buy a truck today? No, you may not.
Oh, we're getting to that. So this is paying bills. What if I don't pay my bills?
It depends on what it is, quite honestly, and how late you are. I mean, like, I could go down a rabbit hole.
Well, we pull credit, so basically, I mean, as long as it's on,
like, what's
if
your
it's on
credit
credit,
score?
yeah.
If it's not on your credit,
Well,
They
This
don't
is
pay
you're
their
not paying.
electricity bill, then we're not going to know that.
unless it goes to collections.
I mean,
then
unless
you
it's
know.
already in collections, but
If you are looking for a reputable builder with a proven track record and a client base to back it up, give Red Construction and Development LLC a call. Red Construction offers full design build services for new construction, custom homes, and remodeling with free site evaluations. They have an A+ rating with the BBB and are proud members of the Tyler Area Builders Association, Texas Association of Builders, National Association of Home Builders, and the Lindale Area Chamber of Commerce. Red Construction and Development LLC stands behind the exceptional quality of their work and have the expertise, the resources, and dedication to deliver the results you need on time and on budget. To learn more, give them a call at 903-630-8660 or visit them online at redconstructiondevelopment.com.
We don't really get asked.
Yeah, it's so
Nobody
good.
asks about bills.
Okay.
I'm like singing.
We
that
usually
thing
have to
all
ask
the
them,
time.
like,
Okay.
oh, what is this late payment on your credit?
Okay.
Pay my bills.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where
All
I'm at.
right. So number 4 is, hey Terry, I got a new credit card.
I mean, typically a credit card doesn't make me freak out. If you got a new car, if you bought a,
We tell them no. There's a
yeah.
usually when we send the loan application, there is in the bottom like, don't open up any new
Right.
debt,
Right.
things like
But
that.
Here's
they had 10% off on Victoria's Secret.
No, this is the new
If
one.
I got a credit
nope,
card.
not a credit card, a firm.
Oh, yeah.
For my
firm.
vacation.
For your
Oh.
vacations.
Yes.
My firm vacation.
So they don't show up on your credit report, but when we get your bank statements, they're there, and then we have to count them as a debt. So like a firm
No,
is
they
a
told
whole-
me they don't show up.
It's not
They
on
told
your,
me in the.
but it's
that
in your bank statement.
Or there are ones that are
You said no credit card.
or
Right.
tote the note things.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Right.
And firms come up a lot lately.
Okay.
A lot.
but anything that's tote the note, like I went and bought this and they don't report to credit. Well, we still have to get your bank statements, and the underwriters look at that and they'll go,
See that
"What is
payment.
this
Still
charge
still
coming
shows
out?"
it as
Yeah, they're like,
balance
"What's
owed,
this?"
right?
And then that's when it said, okay, well, we have to get a letter statement. Well, what if we just say that I don't have to make that payment? Well, that's a lie. We're going to write it. You just need to sign it right here.
Right.
This is your liability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do have that 5th car payment. that we didn't know
that
about.
you didn't
Right.
tell us about.
Okay.
That's your
That has happened before.
Oh yeah.
That
Okay.
has happened before.
So, Marque, I have 2 credit cards that I've maxed out.
That's fine because we
That's
already
fine.
pull credit.
Okay. But is it okay if I max
Existing
out my
credit.
3rd?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
So here's
Or-
the thing: once we pull credit, we don't see it anymore.
So I can max out anything I want
if
to
it's
after.
existing credit and you're not getting any new credit, obviously make
As
smart
long
life
as-
choices, people.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right?
as long as you
Okay.
close
We don't
within
see
120 days. And we don't have to pull credit again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because then your payment goes up.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want that.
No.
No.
Okay. Hey, Terry. Hey,
Hey.
I like to change jobs every.
I will literally.
Oh, this is the worst one.
I like to change jobs every
It happens.
because my bosses, they're never good.
I mean, I'm going to tell you right now,
It's-
like, it gives me so much anxiety because it does happen, and it doesn't matter how many times you think it's common sense or how many times you have a conversation with people that act.
get fired up.
I'm so fired up. Because you really would think it's common sense. Like, I'm buying this, like, typically hundreds of thousands of dollars of
Yeah.
house, and I'm going to go change jobs. Now, if somebody gets fired, we typically,
Oh,
like...
There's been a couple times where somebody got laid off, and that's
Oh,
Yeah.
we had one like 3 days before closing
Yeah.
got laid off. Like
Oh.
all the way to closing, balanced out the title company. He got laid off, couldn't find another job, and the seller wouldn't extend. Stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Terrible.
Bend over backwards.
Yeah.
I'll start calling people
Yeah.
like, "Do
Yeah.
you want to hire? Who's got a
Yes.
job?"
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But there are people who will just quit their job and not tell me. I've had somebody
Oh,
quit
yeah.
their job like a week before closing, not say anything, thinking that I won't find out. Well,
thinking that we're already done with everything.
yeah.
Mm.
And
We
then I'm
verify
like,
at the end.
newsflash, everybody calls within 10 days of closing, typically just a couple of days before,
Yeah.
just to
You're
verify
like-
you haven't
You're
been
adult
fired.
supervision or something, in some ways.
It's,
In some ways, yes.
and then I call.
Financially.
That's probably my favorite phone call. One of my favorite
We
phone
become
calls.
close to a lot of people, so
Yeah.
it's funny. Some
Yeah.
people will call and go, you know, I got this offer. What do you know? And then we talk it
Yeah.
out. And if it's
Sure.
we have had people switch, like, hey, you get a raise. You just have to have your purse.
Yeah,
whatever it is.
Offer
Yeah.
letters are fine. We
Yeah.
had
But
one.
it's the people that don't say anything,
Right.
you know, and then you find out the day before closing.
We had a client who
Yeah.
we're really close with and who we love really, really hard, and lost, like, quit
I feel the love already. I feel the love.
lost their job, right? And just
Okay.
thought that they wouldn't say anything. Like, really lost their job. Like, didn't
Yeah.
quit, but, like, lost their job. Just didn't think they'd say anything. And then
Sure.
I get this verification of employment, and they don't work there anymore, and I
Right.
call them. And, like, we're close enough that the phone call is one of these, like, excuse me.
Did you mean to tell me something?
Right.
Is there something that we needed to talk about? Like, We ended up fixing it. They closed on time. It was fine. Not an issue. But it is one of those things where they were like, I thought you'd never have to know. And I was like, this is not one of those things that you don't tell me.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Probably once every couple of years that happens.
Yeah.
Not a lot, but they're memorable. We'll say that.
1 to 2 times a year, I'm like, oh. Or my favorite, because it won't be on your list. So Texas is a community property state, right?
Okay.
And we're a common law state.
Yes.
There are lots of people who are not legally married who
Yes.
file their taxes as married because
Yep.
their CPA thought that would be a
the tax,
great
yeah.
idea to
Yep.
get a discount.
Yep.
I just wanted a PSA newsflash to the entire world. You're married.
Yes.
You're married.
You're
How about
very
those
much
deeds?
You are
married.
very
Those
married.
deeds are going to look different,
Yeah,
right?
you are
Yeah.
so married. Well, government
Or-
loans, it means you have to pull the other person's credit. They have
right.
to sign things. Like, it's a lot.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
listed here, but it's like, is 500 a good score? My mom told me it's a good score.
FHA goes all the way down to 580. VA, you can get exceptions under 580. USDA and conventional, you need higher.
Right.
Most people say it's not very good.
Yeah.
They know.
Right.
They'll go,
They'll-
we need
I
to
know,
work on
I
it.
know.
I need to work on it. We'll go, okay, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
And we do help with that
Do
as
you do
well.
counseling as far as
I mean,
like
not
paying-
credit counseling, because we're not a credit counseling
Yeah,
business.
yeah.
But we pull credit.
But there's a lot
and
of
we
there's a lot
have
of businesses out there that do like some.
And we can-
they're pretty
we can
aggressive about
suggest
that.
things.
Charge a lot of.
We have
Yeah.
a simulator, right? So the credit company
Yeah.
that we use has a simulator that says if you do these things, your estimated
Oh,
credit
that's
score will be
cool.
this.
It's
And there's also
very
like
Very cool.
there's a website myfigo.com that I recommend. It's the most kind of accurate one out
Yeah.
there, and I'll send clients to there. But it's a paid subscription, so you have to be aware of that, right? But it does the same thing.
Yeah.
But we do get that a lot going back to, people that have gotten no, or they've gone somewhere else and they just said no, they didn't give them a why, or they have low credit.
Sure.
They're like, hey, I heard you can help, even though I can't buy a house now. I mean, I had a client just recently close, and I was helping him for 2 years, and he finally got his house done.
Nice.
Credit and all
Very
the
cool.
things, you know what I mean? So it's not a no for us. It's just
Well,
like, hey, let's get a plan going. And
What's
Timeline
interesting
that.
to me is that you've got, and then nothing wrong. I'm not saying anything bad about a realtor because realtors are great. I think they deserve all the kudos. They're working the weekends. They're doing open
yeah.
houses.
Oh, yeah.
They're answering phone calls. They're doing
Yeah.
contracts.
All
A
the
lot of
time.
times they're doing work. A lot of work
A little bit
for
of
nothing.
therapy in
For
there.
nothing.
Exactly.
a
And-
little bit of therapy
Yes,
in
yes.
there.
Yeah, and then, but at the end of that 2 year,
Home renovation.
at that 2 year, they're the ones that holding keys.
Yeah.
And they get the photo ops and stuff like that. And you guys are doing a lot of the lion's share of work and kind of maneuvering these types of things. I don't see a lot of photo ops.
It's very much a team effort when
Yeah.
it comes to the realtors, and I mean, we're on the phone with them just as much,
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
But yeah, like Terry said, kind of after COVID, we go to some closings, but
Yeah.
they definitely go and make sure they have their keys and do all the things
Sure.
for sure. So.
All right. That was a good one. All right. Number 7. Marque, I'm going to change my job, and I am going to go to commission-based.
Oh,
Or
then
no.
you're screwed.
Or hold on.
Unless you're already commission
Hold on.
based.
I'm going to go. No, I'm going to change. I have a good friend that just did this.
Oh, Lord.
All right. So he went from salary position,
Uh-huh.
oil rig, salary position, to being a consultant 1099.
Nope.
Yeah.
You gotta have a 2-year history.
years.
Sometimes
It cost him 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
So we
can
built our
sometimes
house.
what?
We built our house and started in late 2020. We finished in late 2021, and they haven't broke ground yet.
Yeah.
And they bought the property right next to us.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, it's going to be a beautiful property, and
Yeah.
it gave them time to do some things that maybe they
Yeah.
didn't think about.
Yeah.
But it's costing them 2 years.
Yeah. No, 100%.
But it's self-employed income, but it's also variable income. So
Right.
let's say you were straight
Right.
salary and you're
Right.
W-2'd, you stay W-2'd, but then you
Yeah.
add overtime or bonus
Right.
income
Right.
or any type of extra commission on top of that. All of that has to have, even if it's not with the same employer, a 2-year history.
Yeah.
So we'll get people, who have done a job and they're like, well, but I've made bonus for the last year and a half. And I'm like, but you don't have a 2-year history.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you can't even, but I have this money and I make this money. And so that's a conversation sometimes in educating people on what lending laws are. You know what I mean? So that's always
Yeah.
a hard conversation to have.
Yeah.
Okay. Next one's going to be fun. Terry. All right.
Drum roll.
Hey, Terry.
Hey.
My parents are going to give me cash
Uh-huh.
for my down payment.
No,
Oh,
they're
we
not.
can-
You're going to
figure
close an
that
extra
out.
30 days later.
Is that?
No, they can. Like,
They can,
so
right.
gift
Yeah.
funds are a thing. If it's not cash, gift funds are a thing. Cash has got some caveats. And so just in general, Freddie Mac, which is a type of conventional loan,
Yeah.
and then say VA, USDA, FHA, they only require 1 month of bank statements, right? So let's say your parents gave you a gift in January and went ahead and put it in there because you started looking and you got pre-qualified and we've already had this conversation. If you buy a house in May, I don't,
don't
care,
care.
because
Right.
it's sourced and seasoned is
Yeah.
what we call it, right?
Okay.
But if you just start
Cooked
looking,
up. It's
Yeah.
seasoned up.
yeah, I mean, I
And
tell
we have a
people
lot
that-
of conversations
Yeah.
because we ask up front, like, how much
Where's
do you
it
have
coming
already?
from?
Where's your money
Yeah.
coming from? That
Yeah.
kind of stuff. And so we help definitely. Assets are a big thing. And so kind of like on the processing side of it is, you can't change anything really except for your money. Like usually 9 times out of 10 your job's not changing. None of that's changing, right? You're just sending us documents. We're confirming what you're telling us.
Right.
Money, people get funny about money. So they're moving it, they're shaking it, they're doing all these things. So it's like
I know a couple people like
assets.
that.
Assets are very important to ask up front because, okay, what are you doing? Okay, and then you can have a game plan, right? Just like credit, you can have a game plan. So you have to talk about assets up front.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1 million.
Because it's not a last minute thing.
Yeah.
Because if
Not-
you've got
not
like a
at
ton
all.
of cash just sitting in a safe somewhere, you're not depositing that the week before closing.
Yeah.
It's literally like it doesn't exist. And so that can sometimes be, and sometimes even amounts of cash over a certain amount per whichever guidelines
Per
we're going
day,
by
or-
per
yeah.
day and things like that. Like
You can
there's
kinda get
deposit
around it.
limits. So
Yeah.
even if you had cash sitting somewhere and you were buying a $200,000 house FHA, if you deposited more than $2,000 a day that's cash,
You gotta source
I
it.
care about where it came from,
Sure,
and all of a
of
sudden
course.
it's basically invisible.
Yeah.
Like it can be sitting in your bank, and I can be like, "Sorry, I can't use it."
Right.
And a lot of people these days, are taking their money out of
Yep.
banks and things like that.
Institutional lending,
Sure.
like
Doing
when-
things, and so
yeah.
it comes up a lot. And so it's
Yeah.
very much something that we talk about.
Putting in crypto, putting in it.
Well, some
different
people, when the
investments.
banking scare happened in California, when
Yeah.
it started there with that one bank that did all the things, people started taking their money out, and that's
Yeah.
what caused a lot of panic in kind of like the banking world. Is people, if you take all those depository accounts out, then all of a sudden, like where are banks operating from? It just becomes very complicated, and so that is something that we really have to have very upfront conversations about.
Yeah.
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 Hey,
Very much so.
What would you like? I'm gonna
Excuse
call on
us,
our
sir.
We have our bartender.
on our bartender
Sir.
here. Before we get into number 9, we'll call on Daniel here. Thank you, sir. Our new pour. Yes.
I love it.
Thank you, sir. Amazing. I just hope it tastes as good as what I remember.
Ladies, y'all need me?
Ladies, you need?
I mean, I will totally let you make me a thing.
Wanna wait?
I don't care.
don't care.
I mean, Daniel can.
Are we halfway through, or what are we?
No, we're more than halfway through, for sure.
okay.
Yeah,
Look at you. You're like, this isn't.
yeah, you're
sweaty.
killing it. You're killing it.
Sweaty.
You're such a badass.
Okay.
Can you?
Are you ready?
Can you see my sweat?
No.
No.
Only when you like.
Yeah.
You know. It's,
I don't even think the camera's on me. It's on y'all. So it's good. It's good.
Okay, good.
All right. All right. So, Marquis, this
Yes.
question's for you.
Okay.
All right. What if I foreclose?
Like after?
What if I foreclose?
Like when?
I don't think anybody's ever asked me
During
that.
during my loan.
You can't get a foreclosure during your loan. We'd already.
Yeah.
I know, but I mean, what if I get this loan and I can't pay it?
I've never had anybody ask me that. I don't think.
No, because I'd tell them they can't have a house.
We've already made the relationship. We're like, no, you're not approved.
Yeah. Right. I'm getting a wrong sense about you.
I have a very negative feeling right now.
Right.
No, I mean,
I've never had anybody like.
No, I mean, we
Come
tell
across
people
like
if they
that.
ever. We have had people call us with like, or at least me, call with like concerns, like, hey, my husband lost his job. We had a
Yeah,
client with that.
okay, yeah.
Like, how do I not go into foreclosure?
Yeah.
During COVID, forbearance was a really big thing. Yeah, please.
Yes.
Forbearance was a thank you so much.
Yeah.
Forbearance was a really big thing, and so I tell clients that we're here for forever.
Yeah.
I have clients that, I've had for years and years and years who will send me a text message of their mail. Real, not real junk, trash it. I mean, I have clients email me, call me. I mean, we keep in touch. We send them happy birthdays, happy loan anniversaries. I mean, we never go away. And so we're a resource 24/7, which is why I don't think we get that question. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
It's just one of those things where we're so engaging and on top of it that we don't have to. Writers like, I'm getting a toy, guys.
Yeah. Instant toys.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we're so engaging and we stay so connected to our clients that we just don't run into that. I mean, I can't even think of like,
Yeah.
hi big man. It's like, throw the toy. I can't think of any client that has gone through foreclosure since we've had them.
Right.
Maybe sold before they were ready because
Yeah.
something happened and they couldn't afford
Yeah.
the house, but even that's super rare.
Yeah.
You're not getting any attention, are you?
Yeah, he's like, what are y'all even doing?
Sit down.
Right.
And yeah.
Go sit down. Go get him.
Go get them. All right. My last one,
Okay.
Terry.
Go. Go.
So, what if your client asks you,
Uh-huh.
what is a credit score?
Like, what is a credit score?
Yeah. Like, what is that?
What is
Is that going to throw a red flag?
So, no.
Oh, come on.
We've gotten used. I don't
get it
have
all the
any
time.
credit.
Like, I don't have any credit.
Oh, I don't
or
have any credit.
I
Yeah.
don't have any
Okay,
credit, which
okay.
is very common.
Yeah.
Like, foreign nationals typically don't have U.S. credit.
Okay, okay.
Just for anybody who's wondering, if you have zero credit, if you get a credit card, it will take you up until month 7 to actually have a score. It takes 6
okay.
months to establish a credit history
Okay.
and actually have a score.
Okay.
Even people who have paid off all their debt or like closed everything, right? So think of like elderly people. If they don't do anything for a long period of time, they'll
Yeah.
need to go get a new credit card or something
Yeah.
to reestablish credit. But credit's hard to explain because most people get their credit scores from their bank card. Or they get it from Credit Karma or places like that. And so there's all these different FICOs that are used to determine your credit score, and each FICO scoring model is used by a different entity. It's why I think myfico.com is really cool because you can click like, what's my mortgage credit score? What's my car credit score?
Okay.
What's my credit card credit score?
myfico.com.
Yeah. It's the easiest,
better.
most user
And it doesn't. It doesn't.
Yeah.
If you go in there and you try to like figure out like, hey, here, I'm assuming they want a name, date of birth,
Yeah, they
Maybe
verify your
social,
identity, and it's a paid.
and social and stuff like that, and then but it doesn't hit my credit.
No,
check
if you pull your
Which
own
is
credit,
most-
pulling
most
your
places,
own credit ever is a soft pull.
soft pull.
Yeah.
Right.
Hard pulls come from lenders, right?
Right,
I mean, we
yeah.
have the ability to do soft pulls, but if you're getting your credit pulled by someone else, chances are it's a hard
Yeah.
pull.
Right.
But yeah, and so it's one of those things, it's an algorithm, right? And it takes risk versus reward versus what have you had most of, like how recent is it, what is it, medical, and so there's all of these different variables to go into it. But most people will call me, tell me their credit score and that they saw it on Credit Karma, and I'm like, well, that's going to be ballpark. That's not accurate 9 times out of 10. Now, if you tell me you have an 800 credit score, I mean, for mortgage lending
Then we're
over
fine.
780,
Yeah.
I stopped caring. Really,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
there is no like it's gonna
Carvana
get
told
anything
me
better.
that it's 800.
Yeah. Well, and I had somebody actually argue with me one time. She was like, "Your credit score disclosure says that I have like a 780, and I'm telling you, I'm looking at my credit right now, and it's an 810." And I tried to tell her that we didn't care, and she didn't care that I didn't care.
Right.
I was like, "It's not going to get you anything better. I
Yeah.
promise."
Those
She's
30
like,
points.
She's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
"It's wrong."
People
though."
work hard for that score, though. They
Yeah.
want it to be.
No, 1,000%.
Yeah.
And I love them for it.
Yeah.
No, yes.
Responsible individuals.
The best part's couples, like wives and
Who-
husbands,
who-
like
who be
because
who?
like who be
Yeah,
who.
of course.
Especially if you've been married a long
That
time. Like
happens a
my
lot.
husband and I, like everything's basically the same at this point.
Sure,
We've been together
sure.
24 years,
Yeah,
and so
yeah.
it's very funny because he'll
And
be
you've
like,
owned the same thing.
Yeah.
well,
So you've closed accounts, you've opened accounts, you've...
now we've gotten to where like my car's only in my name, and his car's paid off completely because I just got a new car, and so it's very funny because I'm like, ooh, but that makes my score higher than yours.
Yeah. But you owe more. Your credit, the
I know, but
debit credit,
having installment loans, like diversified credit, is good though, right?
Okay.
So like it's a
Active
good thing.
credit.
So like
active credit, yeah, absolutely. Open accounts
So
are good.
yeah, no,
Yep.
I enjoy it. It's a competition every time.
She's
Everything's
She's competitive
competitive.
about
Yeah.
everything,
Absolutely.
and I'm not, so that's why we work very well together.
She says that, but she needs to lose too. It's fine.
Right? You can tell why you guys get along, for sure. All right.
All right,
Let's talk about...
almost on a drink.
Yeah, I know.
You
We
want
need
some
that
wine?
bartender over
I'm
here.
done. I'm done.
Let's talk about if you guys are in four walls, right?
Yeah.
You have your staff, everything's great, everything's working like a machine.
Yeah.
You got 5-star,
Best in town.
right? Best in town.
Yeah.
Best 40 under 40. You know,
Oh,
all
yeah,
that,
women in
bam, bam,
business.
all that. Okay, so
Bam, bam.
yeah. So, do you have any projects that you guys have planned to do beyond these four walls?
As far as mortgages are concerned, probably not. I mean, we've thought about like branches. We've thought about like what's next as far as, owning a mortgage firm and things like that. But I think if you start branching out too much and, you lose kind of what makes you who you are.
Yeah.
We are very picky about who works for us. We cultivate a very warm, inviting,
Very
friendly,
tight-knit family.
tight-knit family culture.
Yeah.
I think that in other offices, it's a little bit more dog-eat-dog kind of world, and here it's not. We
Yeah.
support each other. We root
Yeah.
each other on. If somebody's sick or on vacation or whatever it is, we all pick up the pieces.
Yeah.
We don't ever let anybody fail or feel like they're out there on their own, and I think a lot of, other places are like that. But I think we would kind of just lose who we are if we
Yeah.
had too much. And we can do the entire state. Like, we already are
Right.
lending in the
Doing
entire state of
Texas.
Texas.
Yes. How far out are you guys servicing clients?
I mean, pretty much the entire state. It just depends on how they get referred. I mean,
Yeah.
big metroplex. I mean, we do Austin a lot. We do Houston a lot.
Dallas-Fort Worth.
Dallas-Fort Worth a ton. I mean, but it just kind of depends. We've had a lot of deals out in West Texas in the last 12 months. That's complicated just because of they're having a shortage of appraisers. I actually had this conversation earlier today. And so, I mean, we're really lucky that we don't have to be where we are to do business. And then, like I said, lots of people moving into Texas. I mean, they're doing a remote closing anyway. And so
Right.
for them, it doesn't really matter that they're not here.
Are there certain states that you're seeing people move in from?
Oh, yeah. California the most.
the
Yeah.
most. Colorado a lot.
Yeah, because they're selling, $1
Washington.
million $properties.
A lot of
buying
West
$500,000
Coast.
properties here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's cost of
Most-
living.
Yeah, California
Yeah.
Well,
and anywhere else.
And Texas does things a little bit different. I mean, think about it. We have no state income tax
Yeah,
returns, right?
right.
So that's different for people.
But property taxes kind of offset some of that,
It
right?
depends,
It
though.
depends on the state,
I mean,
right? Depends on the state.
It depends on the state, and it also depends on what are their exemptions? Like you
Right.
get 100% disabled vet,
Yes.
and they're moving in. They
Or
don't pay property
they're over
taxes. in the
65,
state of
right?
Texas.
We're over 65.
Yeah.
Over 65 exemptions, any type of disability exemption, and even, you say property taxes, but I mean, with the new homestead exemption
Right.
being $100,000, I mean, taxes have gone down from last year.
Smith County just kind of
They got a lot of people that
just
I will
nullified
say,
that.
Yeah.
You say that, but we've also had clients whose values either stayed the same or went down. So it wasn't across the board.
Yeah, it wasn't.
And it,
No.
it wasn't.
I have
I
a
mean, it was
new
very
bill.
targeted area.
So so you guys have a staff.
Yeah.
Obviously, at the end of my podcast, I always like to do some recognition. Obviously, your staff is awesome to you. I've already heard you guys talk about it. Talk a little bit about your staff. Talk about some of the folks that are key players for you guys that help support the business.
Evelyn's got to be first.
Yeah.
Ryder has to be first.
Evelyn's first.
And then Ryder, no. Evelyn's our biggest key player. She's been with us since we started, and she helps with processing in the back end.
Yeah.
And
She talks to every client.
she talks to every client. She speaks Spanish. I mean, she's just so well-rounded and eager to learn, and she's younger than us. She's sweeter than us.
Yeah.
You know, so
Right.
She's so much nicer than
we're
us.
just always like, Ellen, just stay your sweet self and
She's got the
help people.
bedside manner.
She's got the bedside manner.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, she's so, and that's where we get a lot of our reviews from. I mean, they just love her, you
Yeah.
know, and if we're not available, they know, like, oh, I
I can
call
talk to Evelyn.
You know, I can call her, I can talk to her. So that's our biggest shout out is Evelyn. She holds us together for
Yeah.
sure. So she's
Yeah.
like our,
When we're not
she's
here,
our tripod.
she's here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so she's kind of the person when we're not in the office, if somebody needs something and they don't know who to ask,
it's her.
ask Evelyn.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
sure. And then we have LOs. I mean, we have
Oh.
several LOs with us, and they're all
Yeah.
really, really great. I mean, Bobby, Kevon, Amy,
Robin.
Yeah, I saw
Anthony.
some comments about Bobby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, having personal touch.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, she's
Yeah.
great. She has the best closings, though. Like, she goes to all of her closings,
Yeah.
and she has the best closings.
She's had people singing to her closing.
Oh, wow.
Like,
yeah.
straight up church in the closing.
Yeah,
It's
church and
great.
closings. That was awesome. Yeah, so. But we really do. I mean, we obviously bring our dogs to the office. We don't wear shoes most of the time.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that I have shoes on Andrew, like, this is
Yeah.
Yeah, this is an
I mean,
upgrade,
we're
right?
pretty casual all the
Yeah.
time, but it really is because we live here. I mean, we
Yeah.
want it to feel like home. We want
Sure.
you to come to the office, and so
and we don't want clients to be intimidated.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think that that's something people walk into, like if you think
An
it's a financial
institution,
firm and
yeah.
like you have on a suit and jacket and all the things, they walk in and they just expect you to judge them and think it's
Yeah.
terrible.
That's something that I often
Anxiety
think
just
about whenever I interview folks, and it's not obviously it's not parallels,
Yeah.
but when I interview folks for pawn positions,
Yeah.
I'm looking for tattoos. I'm looking for piercings. I'm looking for
Yeah.
colored hair. I'm looking
Yeah.
for all those things because people wake up in the morning. They don't want to disconnect the PS4, their kid's PS4, and bring it to pay for groceries. They just don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So, but I'm looking for the person that they're going to greet that is going to be like, oh, they're not going to judge
They're
me.
more comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
more
this person
comfortable.
has tattoos. They have
I have
colored hair,
tattoos,
They got,
yeah.
all that. All
Yeah.
that.
I got all my tattoos after we opened
Right.
this.
She
But I mean,
did.
but
She
what
did.
what you're explaining to me is
Yeah.
very similar to what I look for in a pawn lender in the fact that it's just a laid back environment. It's
Yes.
somewhere that he's just
like in it
he's
now.
on it. He's on it now. Yeah. Yeah.
It's his playtime. This is usually what
Oh.
we're, yeah.
Have
We're
all
home
fun, guys.
playing, throwing
I
them.
love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So
But yes,
let's talk.
we love the people that we
your
work
staff.
with. Yeah.
That's right.
1,000%.
Yeah.
Let's talk about people that were influential in you guys' life that led you down the path that you're on now. So there could be somebody that's a friend, family member. It could be a mentor, somebody who kind of opened a door for you. Not you, Teri.
No, it's Marque.
Yeah.
1,000%.
Marque.
She's got to answer it.
Marque, or if you want to pass it to Teri, you can.
I can answer it.
Okay, so
No, really like mentors, I would say. I had a friend that got me in the business.
obviously you've got a strong husband.
Strong
That's
husband,
really
he pushes
helping.
me and motivates me and all the
Yeah.
things. You know, I mean, we've really been our own cheerleaders. I
Yeah.
mean, just because, both sides of our family, I mean, they were basically like, just go work and figure it out, and that's how we kind of just had to grow up together and teach each other and learn from all the mistakes and things like that. So I've always been very motivated to be successful and not necessarily like have my own business, but I always wanted to be successful and make it on my own and that kind of stuff. And so we always had that. We tried businesses here and there, and like Teri said, I mean, when we clicked, it was like, oh, we're gonna be together forever. Let's do some cool shit,
Right.
And so, and very much so, my husband has been that person behind me, like holding me up and pushing me, and you can do this, and
Right.
you got this, and that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, just had a friend really that was a loan officer, and they needed somebody, and I mean, I had 3 jobs at the time. I was bartending, I was waitressing, and always had a day job. I called everything my day job. Like I worked for a law firm for a while. Then I got in the mortgage industry, and that was my day job. And I bartended 4 or 5 nights a week when me and Daniel met. And he's like, okay, can you like stop working a little bit, And so really kept doing the mortgage industry and growing and being better at that. And then just kind of proceeded when we moved to Tyler.
Yeah.
Couldn't get away from it, so now I'm just all in.
Right. Absolutely. You are. Teri, what about you? Some influential folks, or maybe somebody that you want to give a shout out to. I mean, I didn't really give you that opportunity,
No,
but
yeah.
you kind of did.
I shout out to Teri.
kinda-
Yeah, I
did.
shout out to
You
Marque.
kinda
We push each other. I will say that. We do
Yeah.
push each other. We're very, very...
Shout out to Wes.
Shut up. No, he does, though. I will tell you. So, my husband and I have been together since we were 18. We met our freshman year of college.
Right,
So, I mean,
right.
like, we've been together 1,001 years through all of the growing up and, the pitfalls
That's
of
as
all
old
of
as this
that.
table right here.
I mean, yeah, right? But for 24 years, I mean, that's a really long time
Sure
for someone our age in our 40s. I mean, I've been with him longer than I haven't been with him.
yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Right? So,
Yep.
I mean, he's always been my biggest cheerleader because in the beginning it is a lot of, I do take a ton of phone calls, right, during family time or personal
Yeah.
time. And I work late hours, and so I am always on or
Yeah.
solving other people's problems and things of that nature. And then when we opened the business, I'm mentoring all of these people, and we're doing all of this extra work to not just, support like the business that I already had, but to grow a bigger business.
Yeah.
So my husband has definitely been, a huge, huge supporter of that and very unselfish of his time most
Yeah.
of the time. Sunny weather happens, pool Fridays, and then he starts like texting me about 5 o'clock. He's like, babe.
It's like,
But I got
Stay.
started because
Gotta
my
go.
mom's best friend did this. I mean,
Yeah.
Margie Fisher, she's still in Tyler today. She still does this. She's going to retire any day now. I mean, her husband wants her to retire all the
love her.
time.
Yeah.
But she's amazing at what she does, and she taught me everything I know. And I tell people all the time if they're talking about her, I'm always like, she's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love her. She's so smart. She's so intelligent.
She's very personable.
She's so personable, and she just makes you want to be around her. She's so friendly, but she's great at her job. She's so smart, and she knows everything. Even when I first started out and opening like our own companies and doing all of that and wasn't working with her or for her anymore, I would call her just to talk something out and be like, am I crazy? And she'd be like, no, you're not crazy. So, and she's always been a huge supporter. I mean, we still talk all the time, and her husband walked me down the aisle when I got married.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like we're super close. But yeah, so she's amazing, and I wouldn't do this if it wasn't for her.
Yeah.
Or Bill Clark telling me I shouldn't be an attorney because I wanted to practice constitutional law and I'd be poor.
Bill Clark,
Yeah.
Martha,
Margie Fisher.
Margie's. Yes.
Yeah, so yeah, those two very instrumental in my decisions as an adult.
Very cool.
Yeah, no, everybody's pretty awesome.
Okay, so we're not getting any. This is it. Okay, we're not going to get into any specifics.
Yeah.
But you guys have a couple of projects that you're working on.
Mm-hmm.
You can't mention them. You don't want to mention them.
Yeah.
But you're working on them.
We work on stuff all the time.
How many projects do you have that you're working on potentially?
3.
Three
Is it just
projects.
I'd have to think about it.
I know one for sure. 2 maybe.
No, 4.
4.
That sounds like
4.
it's 4.
Sorry.
4 projects.
I'm like,
That one's important. I just forgot.
4.
4 projects.
Well, because we always want to grow and
Yeah.
do other things.
But I mean,
Yeah.
what we want to be clear of is
Yeah.
it's not mortgage related.
no, it's not mortgage related.
Yeah,
at all.
they're projects that you guys do together or with your
With the hub.
With
with
the
your
hubs.
yeah, stuff like
Yeah.
that. Maybe
We'll do a different podcast
it-
later.
maybe
I mean, if
Down the road.
like beach related or
No,
something.
if you're
right?
friends with us on Facebook, you already know. So, or
Right.
Instagram or
Right.
anything like that. Yeah. So, I mean, we do a lot. I mean, we're big into, conservation.
Correct.
And diving in the ocean and,
yeah.
all of those kinds of things are really important to us.
Yes. Yeah.
So cool. Thank you so much.
You're
coming
welcome.
on.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Yes, it was kind of out of my zone, but I did some
Yeah.
research enough to kind of.
Yeah.
No, great question.
Yeah, thank you. And I like my top 10.
Yeah, your type
There were
two
some
were
good
good.
ones.
They were good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good.
So really appreciate y'all coming.
No,
on.
thank you
Really
for having
do.
us. We appreciate
Y'all were
it.
the cute part of the podcast. Per Colin Pop,
Oh, shout out to Colin for sure.
Yeah, he did a great job on his, but he wasn't as cute. That's for sure.
I
So,
mean,
He tries.
yeah, he tries. Well, damn
He's got a
sure.
great community
Yeah.
and
yeah,
work
he's amazing at what he does for
office
sure.
and how he runs it.
A lot of people in Tyler
They're
don't
great.
realize what they have in that, and really what you guys do is similar to what he does.
Yeah.
Like I called his business the Trivago of insurance because a lot of people see insurances and go, oh, Trivago, oh, we shop for rates and this, that, and the other,
Yeah.
and we get you the best deal in a hotel.
Yeah.
That's what he kind of does with insurance.
He's a broker
You guys
for
are doing the
insurance.
same
Yeah,
thing.
exactly.
You're the
We're very
Trivago.
complimentary.
Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely.
very much.
So
Plus, he's a Longhorn fan, so. We do football together, right, Colin?
right.
Just throw that out there.
Well, thank you all so much for coming on. I
Yes.
really appreciate it. So, thanks so much for tuning in. Our next show is going to be right next door at the Humidor.
Oh, yay.
We've got a special guest. I'm not going to announce it. It's going to be a cliffhanger, It's a well-to-known person here in Tyler. So, thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Thanks.